Welcome to another session on computer architecture. Today's topic is virtual memory. So, virtual memory, when the student heard the term virtual memory, they think that it's a very complicated concept, but it's not so complicated. If we can understand the concept from the scratch, then it never be complicated. It will be very easy to understand. So what are the topics we will cover in this session? At first, we'll find out the very important term associated with virtual memory, that is address space and memory space. Then definition of virtual memory. Then how to map virtual address to physical address. Then what is the role of page table for this mapping. Then memory table, the concept of memory table of virtual address, and how memory table can be implemented also by associative memory page table. Then we have to understand page fault and page replacement algorithms, and very important two algorithms, FIFO and LRU algorithms. So all these are the topics under virtual memory concept. If we can understand all these concepts one after another, then I think the concept of virtual memory will be very easy. This will be the basic idea of virtual memory. Let's see. So what do you mean by address space and memory space? Suppose this is the primary memory. Suppose this is the main memory and this is the auxiliary memory. So what do you understand by auxiliary memory? Auxiliary memory means secondary memory. That's mean hard disk. This is called the auxiliary memory. Got it? So, and here is the CPU. Here is the CPU and here is the cache memory. Cache memory. So CPU will generate the address and try to find out that data from the cache memory. If it is find from the cache memory, then CPU fetch that data from the cache memory. If it's not present in the cache memory, then cache find out that data from the main memory, and if that data is present in the main memory, cache fetch that main memory, and if that data also not present in the main memory, then from the auxiliary memory the data will be come into the main memory. So the virtual memory concept comes in this position. That's mean how data will be come in between auxiliary memory and main memory. So this portion is called the virtual memory concept, and here the cache mapping concept is done here. So the concept here the cache mapping technique is used, how the blocks of data comes from the main memory to cache memory, that is called the cache mapping technique. And here how the data comes from the auxiliary memory to main memory, that is called the virtual memory concept. Now when CPU generate an address, so suppose if your computer does not support virtual memory, so virtual memory is a concept that will be implemented by both by software as well as by hardware also. So if your computer does not support virtual memory concept, then your CPU will generate the address, the the number of address that your CPU can generate, that will be the total number of address in the main memory. So your CPU cannot never generate the address more than the size of the main memory. So this is the concept if your computer does not support virtual memory. But if your computer support virtual memory, then what will happen? The programmer can generate the address that will be larger than the main memory. That means that will be equal to the size of the auxiliary memory. So obviously the size of the auxiliary memory is larger than the main memory. The size of the hard disk is larger than the RAM. So the size of the auxiliary memories will be, in every time it will be larger than the main memory. So if CPU have the provision to generate the address that will be equal to the size of the auxiliary memory, so obviously then CPU have the freedom to generate more number of addresses. So when a programmer will write a program, he need not think about what is the size of the main memory. Without thinking the size of the main memory, the programmer can generate the address as large as possible. So if your computer support virtual memory system, then only this facility will be available. So if we can understand this concept, then let's see what is the definition of address space and memory space. So at first we'll see what is the virtual address. An address used by a programmer is called virtual address. So when a programmer generates the address, then that is called the virtual address. And the total number of address, the total number of virtual address is called the address space. But this is not the size of the main memory. So by the size of the virtual memory, it never can indicate the size of the main memory. The main memory size can be lower than the virtual address. Then what will be called this address? So what is the name of the address of main memory? That is called the physical address. So the main memory address, an address of main memory is called physical address. So originally the RAM size or primary memory size will be fixed, and the address of the main memory is called the physical address, and the whole set of physical address is called the memory space. So the whole size of the virtual address is called address space, and whole size of the physical address is called memory space. So to understand the concept of virtual address, when we will find out the definition of virtual address, we have to need these two definitions, address space and memory space. This is very important to understand address space and memory space. Without understanding the address space and memory space, we cannot define the virtual address. So let's see if we can understand the address space and memory space, then what will be the definition of virtual address? The definition of virtual address will be, it's a technique that allows address space to be larger than the memory space. When address space will be larger than the memory space, that is called the virtual memory. That means if your computer support the virtual memory system, then programmer can generate the address that will be larger than the main memory. When CPU will generate the address that will be larger than the set of address. Set of address means total number of address. When the total number of address generated by CPU will be larger than the main memory. Suppose your main memory size is 1 KB. Suppose for say 1 KB, your primary memory size is 1 KB, and when your computer will support virtual memory system, then your CPU can generate the address that will be larger than the 1 KB. That may be 10 KB. So your CPU can generate the address of size 10 KB. Total number of address will be 10 KB. That will be obviously the larger than the primary memory. So this 10 KB address is called the virtual address, and this 1 KB address is called the physical address. So when this set of virtual address is called address space. This set of virtual address is called the address space. So when this address space will be larger than the set of physical address is called memory address. So when this 10 KB, this virtual address will be larger than the physical address, that technique is called virtual memory. So this technique is called your computer. Now you can say your computer use the technique virtual memory. So virtual memory is a combination of some software as well as combination of some hardware. So it's a combination of software and hardware. With help of some software and hardware, the virtual memory concept can be implemented in your system. Now, very important concept is how we will, so it obviously that CPU at first generate the virtual address. CPU at first generate the virtual address, but CPU ultimately access the address from the main memory. CPU ultimately access the data from the main memory. That means at first you'll take the data from the main memory to cache memory, then from cache memory to CPU. So obviously when your computer system will support the virtual memory system, then the address that will be generated by the CPU, that is called the virtual address, that address should be converted into physical address. That means the main memory address. So now let's see how this conversion will be happen. This conversion is called the mapping. So mapping of virtual address to physical address. So let's see how this mapping will be happen. Now before understanding the mapping, we have to understand a concept that is called the page and block. Suppose this is the total set of virtual address. And suppose this set size is 8K virtual address. So now this 8K address set will be divided into 8 different pages, and then every page will consist 1K address. So in the first page there will be 1K address, in the second page there will be another 1K address. So this set, every set will be divided into a equal size of address set, that is 1K. So obviously there will be total 8 number of pages. So this is called the page, and this is your physical address. This is the size of this is your main memory. Then also your main memory also will be divided into different segments, and this segment is called block. But obviously the size of page and size of block should be equal. So as the size of page is 1K, so size of the block also will be 1K. So here the page size is 1K and block size is 1K. And suppose your main memory size is 4K and every block will be 1K. So obviously there will be 4. How many blocks will be there? 4 blocks. So in your virtual address there will be 8 pages, and in your primary memory there will be 8 block, though the size of page and block is same. Now when CPU generate an address, at first it will search from the main memory. If that address is present any among these block, then CPU fetch that data from the main memory. Otherwise, if that data is not present in all these blocks, then what will happen? Then from the auxiliary memory, the page will be replaced in the main memory block. So here some replacement algorithm will be used. In this purpose, some replacement algorithm will be used, because there is total number of 8 pages, but at a time there can be present only 4 pages. So if I asked a page that is not present in the main memory, then you have to bring that page from the auxiliary memory to main memory. This transformation is called the mapping, virtual memory mapping. Now let's see how this mapping is done. This mapping can be done using the page table. Page table is nothing but a memory. a separate memory. So how, using the page table, we can convert the virtual address to physical address. Suppose this is the virtual address, this is the virtual address, and you have to convert that virtual address into this physical address. So virtual address size is 13 bits and your physical address size is 12 bits. Why? Because this virtual address is divided into two parts. The one part is called line. The last 10 bits are called line. Here also there will be last 10 bits. So this last 10 bit and this last 10 bit is equal. But in this first 3 bit indicate the number of page and this first 2 bits indicate the block. There is 4 block in the main memory. There is 4 block. To represent 4 block, how many bits will be required? 2 bits will be required. That's why 2 bits is here. Here how many pages are there? 8 pages are there. To indicate the 8 pages, how many bits will be required? 3 bits will be required. That's why here 3 bits is used to indicate this page number. So at first CPU will generate this virtual address. So from this virtual address, what is our main purpose? Main purpose is to convert this virtual address to physical address. But virtual address size is 13 bit, but physical address size is 12 bit, but last 10 bits is equal. So you directly can copy this last 10 bits. Now, but this 3 bit will be converted into 2 bit. So for this conversion, a mapping technique will be required. And that mapping technique is done through this memory table. This kind of memory table is called page table. This kind of memory table is called page table. So this is a table. Obviously, this will require some memory to store this table. So that's why this memory page table requires some space. And how we can reduce this space? So this memory table also will be stored in some memory location. So if this memory table size is very large, then that will be a disadvantage. So you have to use such an technique that memory table, the size of the memory table should be small. So that's why different type of memory table techniques is used. Here we are showing you random access memory table. Then we will show you another technique, how we can implement the memory page table. So this is the first implementation of memory page table using random access technique. So here we know that total number of pages is 8. So that's why in this table there will be 8 words. There will be 8 words from first word to 8 last word. And at a time within the main memory only 4 block or 4 page can be present. Block and page is same size. So we can say this is block or page block. So only 4 page can be present in the main memory. So obviously the presence bit means what page is present in the main memory. If a page is present in the main memory, in this field the value will be 1. Otherwise, if the particular page is not present in the main memory, that entry will be blank, or that means presence bit will be 0. So if we check this presence bit, then we can say among these 8 pages, what are the different pages that are present in the main memory presently. So we can say this second page is present in the main memory, then third page is present in the main memory, then sixth page is present in the main memory, then seventh page is present in the main memory. So among these 8 pages, only second, third, sixth and seventh page is present in the main memory. So obviously, so at first we'll check this page number. So whether that is present in the main memory or not. So page number, so here the page number is 6, so you will go to the 6th page number, then you will check this presence bit. Yes, this present bit is 1, so obviously we can say the 6th page is present in the main memory. So you have to convert, but this 6th page is present in which block? There are only 4 blocks, so among these 4 blocks this 6th page can be present in any of these blocks, but presently in which block this page is present, that will be finding through this mapping technique. So in this table we can check this page is present in the first block, so obviously this value will be copied, this value will be copied by this line and it will be copied here, it will be copied here. Suppose if its value is 1 1, then what will happen? The 1 1 will be copied here. If it is 0 1, 0 1 will be copied here. So now from this virtual address we get the physical address, and this physical address will be go to the memory buffer register, and from the memory buffer register the CPU will access that physical address. So actually CPU at first generate the virtual address, then using this technique it convert the virtual address into physical address, and ultimately CPU will access the data using the physical address from the primary memory. So this is the technique of mapping using random access memory page table. Now the drawback of random access memory page table is that this table size is large, because most of the field will be utilized. Here in this table only these 4 word is utilized and remaining word is not utilized. If your size of the auxiliary virtual address, the address space, if the total number of virtual address is very high, then this page table size will be very large, then most of the word will be unutilized. So this is the drawback of using the random access memory table. So then we will try to reduce this table size. We want to try to reduce this table size, and to reduce this table size, the technique that is used, we can use another technique that is called the associative memory page table. Associative memory page table. So using the associative memory page table we can reduce the size of the page table. So here this is the page table, this is the page table. Here we can see that the size of the page table here becomes 4 word. Previously it was 8 words, but it is the 4 word. So why 4 word? Because only those field will be present here who are present in the main memory, remaining are not used here. So this is the associative memory page table. So using the associative memory page table we can reduce the size of the page table. So these are the 2 important technique of mapping. One is using the random access memory page table, and another is associative memory page table. So this page table to store this page, you have to store this page table in your system. So to store this page table you require some location or memory. So how we can store this page table? We can store this page table in 3 different ways. One is this mapping table may be stored in separate memory. You can use a separate memory for using this page table. So this is the memory mapping table. You use a separate memory. So this is your primary memory, and here there will be virtual auxiliary memory, and there is a separate memory to use this page table. Otherwise it can take space from the main memory. From your main memory a separate space can be utilized to store this page table. So our aim will be to reduce the size of the page table. If the size of the page table is small, then from the main memory small memory will be occupied. Otherwise if the page table size is large, then a large portion of the main memory will be occupied. So that's why it will be our target to reduce the size of the page table in every time. And another, so that's why to reduce the size of the page table, the technique that is used, the associative memory technique. Using the associative memory technique, we can reduce the size of the memory table. Now, associated with this virtual address, very important, one of the very important concept is page fault. What do you mean by page fault? When a CPU generates the address and if that is not present in the main memory, then that is called the page fault. Suppose CPU generate an address, that address is not present in the main memory, then that is called the page fault. So if a page fault is occurred, what will happen? Then from the auxiliary memory, that particular page should be bring into the main memory by replacing some existing block. So in the main memory there will be some block, but when we bring a new page in the main memory, then you have to replace one of the existing block in the main memory. So this replacement is called the page replacement technique, and there are different page replacement algorithm is used to replace these pages. And what are those important page replacement algorithm? The very important page replacement algorithms is called FIFO, first in first out. Another is URL, LRU, least recently used. These are the two algorithms that will be used to replace a page from main memory to auxiliary memory. So these are the two important page replacement algorithms. In later sessions, we will discuss briefly the concept of FIFO and LRU. So this is the very fundamental concept of virtual memory. And if you can understand this fundamental concept, then we can go further. Okay, thank you.